So as you can see on screen, Bermane Stiverne did an interview with Ingram Jones on his sports channel, in which he has now confirmed that he has agreed to step aside and allow Deontay Wilder to face somebody else later on in the year. He also says that he will be facing Dominic Breazeale on Wilder's undercard. I'll get onto what I think about that later on in the video. But first of all, I have to say that I've been saying pretty much from the beginning that Stiverne stepping aside is the most likely outcome and the most logical outcome of this situation. There were some people saying, oh, don't jump to conclusions and you haven't heard it from the horse's mouth. Well, I don't necessarily need to hear it from the horse's mouth when the horse in this case is Bermane Stiverne. Stiverne is a boxer. He's not a businessman. Some boxers are more business savvy than others. With the greatest of respect to Stiverne, he doesn't come across to me as one of the more business savvy boxers, putting it mildly. Whenever I hear him talking in interviews, so on and so forth, that's the impression I get. The fact that the WBC were dragging their feet on ordering this mandatory between Stiverne and Wilder told you something if you were paying attention. It told you that there was a problem, because when Povetkin was Wilder's mandatory, the WBC weren't dragging their feet. They ordered it. They said, right, you got 30 days to negotiate. If you can't come to an agreement, it goes to purse bids. It was very straightforward when Povetkin was mandatory in terms of ordering the contest. But when it comes to this Stiverne rematch, the WBC have been dragging their feet for months. Silence speaks volumes. It should have told you that there was a problem. Now, Wilder's team said the problem was television. And if you know anything about boxing, you'll know that most of the money in boxing comes from television. If the television weren't on board with it, there was always going to be issues making it. This particular contest, this rematch. There's always going to be issues if the television ain't on board. You're not going to have Deontay Wilder defend his world title off television in a non-televised bout. That's not going to happen. The WBC know that. So they've had to do what they've had to do. Again, to me, it always seemed like the most logical conclusion. I'm amazed that so many people out there really believed that Stiverne was going to get his way. I mean, not just that they believed it, but that they were adamant that Stiverne was going to get his way and he was going to get his rematch. And he was not going to accept. You know, Stiverne was defiant. He said, there's no way I'm going to take step aside money. It's not going to happen. And there were people believing him just because he said it. Again, he's not a businessman. He don't know business like that. He doesn't really understand the way the world really works in terms of business. His team do, though. So when his team got hold of him, Jay Prince, etc., they took him to the side and they obviously told him, look, Bermane, you're going to have to take the step-aside deal. You know that, right? Like I say, man, wiser heads and calmer heads prevailed. It's the right thing and the sensible thing to do. Now, as far as Stiverne saying that he's facing Dominic Breazeale, this is interesting to me. It's interesting because I'm wondering if Stiverne is almost being penalized here for not taking the step-aside deal in the first place. I'm wondering if that's the case. Or I'm wondering if this is to do with the missed VADA tests, which Stiverne allegedly had. Is this because of that? Because Dominic Breazeale is not a stay busy fight. You know, this is a seriously tough contest. This is a contest which Bermane Stiverne could very easily lose. It's a good match, by the way. Stiverne versus Breazeale, very competitive. But this is not the kind of contest that mandatory challengers who have just taken a step-aside deal normally engage in prior to their title shot. They don't normally take on somebody as dangerous as a Dominic Breazeale. They normally take a tick-over fight against some random journeyman. They don't take on a serious contender. And some people might be saying, oh, Breazeale's not a serious contender. Well, he's serious compared to, he's serious, you know, for Bermane Stiverne. He's definitely serious for him. So it's making me think that the WBC have maybe told Stiverne, look, we're not really happy about that missed VADA test, so you're going to basically have to earn your mandatory spot again. Kind of similar to what they did with Povetkin, because you remember when Povetkin missed his test and the initial Wilder contest was called off or postponed? They then said to Povetkin, you're going to have to face Stiverne in an eliminator to basically, well, they said for the interim title or something like that. But it was basically another eliminator. It was basically another way of forcing Povetkin to earn his mandatory position again. And that's what they seem to be doing to Stiverne here by saying he has to go in there with Breazeale. I struggle to believe that Bermane Stiverne would have voluntarily chosen Dominic Breazeale as a stay busy contest. I struggle to believe that. Stiverne might try and say that, but I certainly would not believe him if he did say that. I definitely wouldn't believe him. So, yeah, interesting situation. It appears Stiverne is being forced into an eliminator with Breazeale on Wilder's undercard. We still don't know who Wilder's going to face. It could be Ortiz. It could be somebody else, because Ortiz might be going the Joshua route. We don't know. Especially now with this issue with Pulev potentially not taking the Joshua contest. So we'll see. But, yeah, Stiverne looks like he has to earn his spot again. Breazeale will be a tough adversary. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Who would you pick between Stiverne and Dominic Breazeale? Stiverne definitely the more skilled boxer all round, but he's been out the ring a long time. I mean, he's had, what, one contest in, is it 3 years since the Wilder fight? So it's not ideal for him. Dominic Breazeale, not as skilled, but much bigger, has been much more active. He's coming off a good win over Izu Ogono. So, you know, we'll see how this situation unfolds. But for now, as I say, cooler heads, wiser heads have prevailed, and the most likely outcome, which I thought of from the beginning, that Stiverne would take the step-aside money, seems to be happening, which is a good thing. Nobody wanted to see this Stiverne-Wilder rematch. That's another thing. You know, the television apparently were not interested, supposedly. And the people, the general boxing public, were not interested in it. That's another problem. You know? That's why Stiverne's people, probably one of the reasons why Stiverne's people said to him, look, you're going to have to take the step-aside money. There's no money in this Wilder rematch, bro. There's probably more money in him facing Breazeale than there would be him facing Wilder, because at least he's never fought Breazeale before, you know. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section, people. It's happening. I'm out.